Okay, so a dev update just dropped, so I figured let's just watch it, react, and see what's in there. I did quickly scan through it beforehand, and there is some interesting stuff here. We're just going to focus on the stuff that I think you'll be most interested in, like, for instance, the gameplay and live balance.
Hey everyone, I'm Coleman.
Hello.
I'm a product manager on Val Gameplay.
Hey, and I'm Dan, Val's Balance Design Lead.
We're happy to be back to take a minute to discuss where the game's at heading into the end of the year. These year-end patches are typically the best opportunity for us to make necessary balance adjustments and try new things without disrupting pro play. You can expect the year-end to be a time where you see larger scope changes that are meant to have a substantial impact on the game.
The updates we made to ISO, Neon, Reyna, and Raze have helped us hit our goals overall. While we did overswing on ISO initially, after the follow-up patch, the duelist ecosystem is in a pretty healthy and varied state for the most part.
And we think this push and pull is a totally normal part of live balance with competitive games. We want to ship more patches throughout the year, but we also want to ship them in a way so that they're not overly disruptive.
We are still working.
Okay, so they want to ship more patches, but be less disruptive. So maybe that means next season in the VCT we'll get more kind of smaller, more often like little balance changes, which could be somewhat interesting to see, exactly how that figures stuff out. But now let's listen to this, which is quite important.
Working on Phoenix, and we're planning some other opportunistic changes within the duelist roster. But we also see some other spots on the roster that are in need of some tuning, particularly among some of our weaker sentinels and our controllers.
Okay, weaker sentinels, controllers, Phoenix, all getting buffs. Weaker controllers, I guess, would be, I don't know if they consider Clove, where they consider Clove in that. Obviously, Harbor, I think, would be a definite one. Weaker sentinels, probably Sage, I would assume.
We know a lot of you will be expecting Harbor changes with this patch, but unfortunately, they're taking a little bit longer since we think he needs larger scope work, and we're still exploring our options here.
Okay, Harbor guaranteed getting some kind of buff. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Good news.
Additionally, shortly after filming this video, Vice will be joining the roster. So, we'll be following her performance closely, as we do with all of our agent releases. So now, as we near the end of the year and VCT is over, you'll start to see some of these changes roll out.
Patch 905, we made some changes to Astra and Chamber. For Astra, we wanted to improve her total utility.
Okay, so in this part here, they're just talking about what you already know if you've been keeping up with the game at all, which is what they did in patch 9.5. So they talk about Astra, they talk about Chamber, they talk about the Ares, they talk about the Brim, like Stimmy buffs. So let's get past that and
your fire rate is increased by things like Reyna ult or Brim Stim.
You can also expect changes to Phoenix, Sage, Cypher, and Gecko.
Okay, that's what we needed to hear. This is the important part, right? So I'm just gonna guess nerf Gecko slightly. Nerf Cypher slightly, buff Sage, heavy buff Phoenix is what I would expect. So yeah, these two on the right, I'm gonna guess are gonna get, I wouldn't say like crazy nerfs, but maybe little small nerfs, right? And these two on the left are probably gonna get fairly sizable buffs.
There might be some other fun things in store for patch 910, but we'll update you on that more later.
So patch 910, keep your eyes out for that one. That's still quite some way away, but when it comes, hopefully it'll be a good patch.
Before we go, we mentioned on our socials that you'd all see a new map rotation in 908. Icebox and Lotus are out, and Split and Pearl are back in.
In that video, we mentioned that we're making some adjustments to Sunset. More specifically, we're adjusting B-Site to make it more defensible.
Okay, hold on. Hold your horses. Sunset changes. So obviously, this is a very significant change and will probably become the main plant position, I would assume. But you could still probably plant by the stairs if you wanted to. Gives attackers kind of a space. I said that they were going to have to do this right. There's going to have to be some space that attackers can actually exist on the site as well, right? So this obviously is the main change here. But also you see on this left-hand side, if I can let's mute it and kind of see it, kind of really before and after. So you see like on this right hand side, we had kind of a normal ledge. Now it's raised here as well. So this is even higher. You can still jump up there, but this is higher. I don't quite know why they did that, but that is interesting to say the least. See if I can get back here. Was there anything else changed? Oh yeah, this has changed too. So this has been extended down. So, this kind of creates a bit of a different angle, I guess, here for you, where you, because when you're here, right, so if you're here, you have to worry about, obviously, someone coming kind of close to you, swinging here, maybe swinging back here, maybe swinging from market. I guess that this change also, if you're now playing in this corner, you can kind of more readily focus kind of market, and these are a bit more delayed for you when they're coming down here and swing you if you are in this corner as an attacker. So that's somewhat interesting, but there is more changes coming as well. So this is the before. Let's take that in, and then that after went very fast. So here's the after. So this looks quite different, right? This box has definitely moved. Looks like we got a raised platform. So basically the main thing I will say about this is it seems like we've got, I'm trying to go frame by frame here. So this is the before that you know, and this is the after. So it looks like, you know, we're creating more post plant positions on the site, right? Like you could play behind this box here, right? You could play behind this box here. You could play close by this box, right? It's giving you kind of more and more options, right? Like in theory, you could have one guy here and one guy behind the box, and you know, you swing off this guy's contact and whatever, and one guy even behind this box. So there's definitely a lot more options for the attackers in terms of playing post plant on the site, and obviously all of this is to try and fix this. Let's see what they've done with this. So here's the before, trying to get it correct here. Here's the after. So these boxes have gone, right? So there's no higher angle here anymore, right? This is gone. Also seems like this, and I think they mentioned this in the video as well, this kind of cipher trip stuff, I think is gone as well. The wall here, the kind of like trip that comes off this wall. I'm not sure if this is like too long for it now, but you see how this is kind of a bit strange here. Maybe it's too long for the cipher trip. I don't know. But that's a significant change. Although you could now play in this corner as well. It does kind of create kind of a harder, I would say, for the attackers. The choke point itself is also smaller, right? Yeah, significantly smaller. This box has just gone. It's been replaced by this. We've now got this in here. So this is a very significant change, right? Very, very significant change. So this is going to be harder to get out, right? Because when you're coming out now, it's going to be more of a kind of looking both ways. You do have some protection here, which is going to like maybe help you just get out the first little bit, and then you can kind of come and open yourself out to market like after that. So that's not too bad, but the choke point is smaller. Going to be harder to get through. In general, this is going to make B splits in particular kind of a much more, I'm going to say viable. It's still viable now, but you know, like something that you want to do more rather than just straight hitting B all the time, because I assume it's going to be harder to take the site now. But if you can take the site, a post plant that you can actually play on the site is much more viable. Playing just here in B main probably still won't be impossible, right? Like if this is still extends out kind of behind this wall here, you know, then you could still play in here somewhat, but it's not going to be as easy for you. And obviously this thing has just completely gone and been replaced by this box here, which you can spam through. It looks like one of those boxes you can spam through. So significant changes overall. I think pretty good changes will significantly change it. And then we've got this change in mid here as well. Let's see what this does. So they they changed this. What else have we got? So this is changed into a box. Has anything else changed? They got rid of a tree and added a box and added a little knight on here. Is it a bit taller? I guess it's a bit taller. But yeah, I think that this is a good change overall, right? It's basically making it so that you can't just run down B playing B main. That's not good map design. It doesn't make any sense. Hopefully now we'll see more kind of mid splits, which I think would be good for the map anyway. And also post plants that you actually play on the site. Okay, now let's keep going.
Opt into contesting.
And we've heard your feedback on map rotations. Trust us, we haven't forgotten that Fracture exists. We're looking at updating our schedule and cadence of map rotations going forward. And we'll share more details with you when the next pool goes live with the 908.
Okay, so hopefully we're going to get, and hopefully this will be good for pro play as well. If there is like a set, hey guys, every 6 months the map pool will change, or every whatever, right? The map pool will change. That would be very helpful for pro teams, of course.
But for now, we want to hand things over to Brittany Perez on the anti-cheat team to talk about Vanguard and share some pretty exciting news about Ranked. Get good, don't cheat.
Hey everyone.
Okay, I'm going to save you some time here. The main part of this cheat aspect to it comes later in the video for most of you watching this, and I'll just skip ahead to that.
But we know on occasion that some of you on PC or console might run into a cheater, and that cheater isn't banned and the match isn't terminated. You might be wondering, if the Vanguard team is so good, how are the cheaters able to play without getting red screened? Vanguard is a delicate tango of prevention and detection. We strive to block cheats outright, but when immediately blocking a cheat would make our techniques too transparent, we detect the intrusion and delay our response.
So this is a bit like the Enigma code.
While we agree that the delay isn't ideal, it's an integral ingredient for your anti-cheat chefs to cook up better detections. But as a way to make it up to all of you honest gamers out there, we're happy to announce that Valorant is working on implementing ranked rollbacks. Basically, if you played and lost a game with a cheater on the other team, and that cheater was later banned, you'll receive a refund of any RR lost.
I think that's just good news, right? If it cheated in your game, doesn't get detected at the time, but does later on, you get whatever RR you lost back. I don't know what happens if your team won. I'm going to guess that they don't take that away from you. Okay, and then the next part is about player behavior. Again, I'm sure most of you watching this video are wonderful human beings who would never, ever, ever say anything toxic whatsoever in a Valorant game. That's just not you if you're watching this channel, of course. But maybe for the couple bad eggs who have come in, let's just quickly talk about, they're talking about voice and, you know, how they had a little beta testing in America for some kind of like, you know, voice things. Let's see what's in this.
We know that voice is still a major area for comms abuse, and we started a beta for automated voice evaluation in North America last year. We've seen good results so far and are committed to rolling out voice evaluation globally, and that's coming before the end of the year. However, building confidence around other languages is taking longer than we anticipated, so we'll support English globally first and rolling out additional languages over time.
But you can expect, as they said, at the end of the year, that's going to be kind of rolled out globally. You know, from just a beta testing system. So now when you're voice comming, you better be a bit more careful. And then finally, they're talking about ranked resets. Now, a lot of this is to do with the console resets, but there is a little bit in here that I think you might want to hear.
At the same time, not seeing that rank that you worked so hard to achieve can be rough. We're currently looking into ways to keep the benefits of resetting ranks while providing more opportunities for upside to balance against that feels bad.
Okay, and that's pretty much all they say. They don't really go into specifics of what exactly they want to do there, but just that maybe the rank reset will change in some form or another. Okay, and so those are the changes. As you can tell, some pretty big news. We got some kind of confirmation of some changes coming up as well, which is always good to hear, and I'm pretty excited that, you know, Harper's going to change, Phoenix going to change, Sage going to change. That sounds all pretty good to me. That sounds like they're on the right track, in my opinion. And yeah, the sunset changes overall, I think, look pretty good. But let me know what you think in the comments down below as well.